All right, team. Guess what time it is? It is the time for the inaugural Ask the Q. So, Ask the Q is 5 questions I heard this week on either social media, personally, or uh, through some sort of DM. And here I am. I will ask or I will answer the questions. So, the first question that I got sometime this week was, "Hey Q, quick question for you. What about VA loans? Are VA loans assumable, and does the not lender, but does the veteran get their entitlement back?" And the answer is yes, and then yes or no. So VA loans are absolutely assumable, but if the uh, newly assumed loan was assumed by a non veteran, then the veteran does not get their entitlement back. There is not a release of liability as per the 2019 update for VA. If you can go to va.gov, go to chapter 27, and it'll show you right there. So, bottom line, if it's a veteran assuming a veteran's loan, then yes, you can reassume or you can get a release of entitlement and then get a new certificate of eligibility. If it's not a veteran taking over the loan, there will not be a release of liability. Therefore, you will not be entitled to your next. You will not be have the entitlement for your next loan until that house is sold to a person that's not assuming the loan. Bottom line. Uh, Question number two. Number two was I was asked about St. Tammany Parish. So St. Tammany Parish, and is St. Tammany Parish affected by the saltwater intrusion that is going on in New Orleans? And quick answer is no. And the geographic answer is due to the Pearl River supplying most of well waters to St. Tammany Parish. That is the reason why we will not have a saltwater intrusion. Now down south, further south, they get their water. Some of the parishes actually get their water from the Mississippi River. They have intakes, and that's where the problem lies. The intakes are further south, about 40 miles south, and draw the water from the Mississippi. And unfortunately, that water is being inundated with salt water, and the saltwater content is too high for public consumption. Therefore, I believe by sometime next month, there will there will be issues with water in all the way up to New Orleans, and the water issues will not go away. They're projecting the water issues are not going to go away until mid-January. So we got to get a lot of water up north, and that water needs to travel down south. Uh, and gravity's got to take effect, and it's got to be a good volume of water to take back over. And we pretty much need little El Nino or whatever to help that out. Question number three. Question number three. Hey, can I buy a 4 unit, and what type of loan limits me? Yes, you can buy a four unit property, and you can buy a 4 unit property with a conventional loan, an FHA loan, a VA loan, or a USDA loan. Where you'll run into potential issues, if you do not want to live in the home. You don't want to live in a 4 unit then you'll run into occupancy problems. So VA, FHA, and USDA all require you to live in the home for at least a year. So therefore, make sure you're going to meet the occupancy requirements before you ask for a certain loan. Tell your lender, they'll tell you what you will qualify for. Most will start with conventional, and then if you go exotic, you go exotic, i.e. FHA or USDA or potentially VA. Question number 4. Question number 4 was a good one. Question number 4 was a good one. They asked, hey, when do I pay for flood insurance if I'm a buyer? And I didn't know this at first until I moved down here. So if you're a buyer, you buy or you pay for flood insurance at closing. So in some parishes, flood insurance is as high as $3,000. Therefore, you'll need at closing an extra $3,000 to close. Something that I didn't know. We went through our closing back in March, and we assumed our flood insurance, and it was $1,000 or $1,100 to assume it, and we assumed it, and we paid up front. But that was not a shock, but that was just something I wasn't ready for, but what we were prepared to pay the extra money. All right, final question for Asktheq. This question was from my seller, and they asked, hey, who pays for the inspection of the well and the inspection of septic? And in the parishes around here and also in Virginia, the seller pays for the well and septic inspections. Now, any of the repairs, that can be negotiable, but the seller pays for well and septic, and it has to be from the county or the parish. So make sure it's from the parish, and to make it legal. Also, with well and septic, it has to be within 30 days of closing. So it'll be outside of most DDIs, the due diligence inspection period. So just remember that. And if you're the listing agent, make sure you follow that timeline and get that done. But this was the inaugural Asktheq, and I appreciate you guys listening in. And next week I'll post another one. Thank you.